Okay, hello and welcome to the 49th episode of the Honesty Pod with me, Beth Quintenton. Here you will find nothing but honesty, whether you like it or not, and things that you need to hear. Can you believe it's nearly been a year of me doing this podcast? I am actually baffled. It's nearly been 52 episodes. I am so baffled, but I love it. However, the topic up for discussion, we're going to go into it a lot, is something that I personally am incredibly comfortable with. I'm very comfortable about talking about sex, masturbation. You know, I would class myself as a very sexual person, and you know, I talk very openly about it with like my parents, for example, with friends, strangers, literally anyone that wants to talk about sex and masturbation. I will be there. I will get whiff of it and I'll be like, right, I need to go and join that conversation. But I'm very aware that a lot of people don't view it in the same way that I do, or maybe are very uncomfortable with it because they've never really had a chance to you know, express themselves, or they've never felt like it's the thing that they're allowed to do, and especially on the topic of female masturbation, although this is definitely something that is becoming a lot more kind of normalised. At one point in life, female masturbation was incredibly looked down upon, which is honestly baffling considering not that many people know how to make a female come. So, you know, and if, you know, your partner doesn't know how to make you come, then, like, you know, you need to find out yourself so you can teach them, you know. We all want to have good sex, you know. Sex is not just for making babies. I mean, it is, but, like, now we've got contraception and stuff. We can do it. We can have fun with it, you know. We can view sex as pleasure, okay? But yeah, I want to talk through a lot about masturbation. I want to talk through how to do it, really, because actually a lot of people haven't really ever explored themselves, and I want to change that, honey, because oh my god, I feel like when you are someone that does pleasure yourself, you become so much more connected with yourself, and you just become so much more confident in yourself, in your sexuality, and just finding things that you like. And that in turn is going to translate to the bedroom when you're maybe with one or multiple people, and you can teach them what you like, and then you can learn what other people like, etc, etc. You know, sex is very much something where you have to learn about the other person, okay? Unless it's like a one night stand, probably not going to be the most enjoyable. However, you know, we want to make sure that firstly you know how to pleasure yourself, and secondly you can then teach someone else how to do that as well, okay? So that we can all have a fantastic time. So let's firstly talk through the physical benefits of female masturbation, and then we'll go into like the psychological and mental benefits of masturbation, and then I did a little bit of other, you know, bits of research, and one con that could potentially you know, yeah, be there. We'll talk about that in a little bit anyway. And then a how-to guide for those of you that maybe haven't done it or haven't really explored that much. And also I shall recommend some devices, some toys to you know, get, you know, to help you along a little bit, because sometimes some of us don't like to necessarily use the fingers that we are, or the tools that we are naturally given, and that is okay. I personally, one of those people, I much prefer to use a toy. So I shall be recommending you some of those, so stay tuned for that. That will be near the end. But anyway, let's firstly go through the physical benefits of female masturbation. So firstly, it helps with the prevention of infections. Fantastic. Literally, what I mean, I think that in itself is a fantastic reason to go and explore, okay? To go and explore yourself. Next up, better cardiovascular health. I completely understand why. It can be quite intense and tiring sometimes. However, fully worth it once you get to the bit. And also it prevents insomnia. Not gonna lie guys, I sometimes do have quite a lot of insomnia. It's usually anxiety related insomnia, and sometimes, granted I'm not always in the mood to be expressive with myself, I'm very excited to listen back to this podcast and hear all the ways I'm trying to talk about, pleasuring yourself, all of the different descriptive words I use. Anyway, granted, when you've got insomnia, you're not always in the mood to have a little bit of fun with yourself, However, in the times that you are, it really does help get you back to sleep. Having that beautiful explosion of fireworks just helps you. Just after that, once your heart rate's calmed down a little bit, it's still good. You feel a little bit more like, oh, maybe I should go to bed. So yeah, it really helps with insomnia as well. And then obviously that's just a couple of the physical benefits. There's so many others. But let's go on to more the kind of psychological and mental benefits, just because I feel like this is where a lot of people are really going to this is what's really gonna just help people become more confident with themselves, be more in tune with themselves, and just be more comfortable with themselves as well. I've definitely seen a link between me exploring my own sexuality and my desires as such, and me becoming more confident. And it's almost like those two go hand in hand. Like I'm a lot more I don't know, willing to try things and, give things a go, rather than thinking, oh no, I can't do that because I'm going to be classed as, this kind of person, blah, blah. I don't care now. I don't care. I want to have a good time. I want to help the other person have a good time. And we all just have a good time together, Good vibes. Anyway. The psychological or mental benefits of masturbation. So firstly, obviously, helps improve mood and helps lower stress, obviously, because, you're having a good time. You're having a good time. And not only that, but it really helps you to accept yourself. And I think especially with female masturbation, obviously with male masturbation, it's almost normal. No, it is completely normal, It's very normalised in society. Like, we know males masturbate, but some of the time when females say they masturbate, it's almost like a whoa, like you're, that's not normal, should you be doing that kind of thing? Which really, that whole thought process should not enter. Both sexes should masturbate. I think it's very, very important. And even if you're in a relationship or you're married, I think it's still very important to have that alone time and pleasure yourself. Obviously most of the time you're probably going to be helping, pleasure each other. But I also think it's incredibly important, no matter how long you've been with someone, that you do every now and then. It doesn't have to be very often, just every now and then you have your own time to, do what you want and to just be in the moment with yourself, not have any kind of pressure, not feel any judgment, and just you do you. And not only this, it helps to increase relaxation, for sure. I can verify that one. It can obviously help reduce stress and anxiety. It can help you get better sleep, as we discussed earlier. It can help relieve headaches. It can of course improve partnered sex, because obviously you can talk them through what you really enjoy and what maybe gets you off a little bit. And of course it can also increase sexual satisfaction, and I don't know about you, but that makes me very happy. But yeah, masturbation is definitely a taboo subject for a lot of people, unfortunately. However, I'm on a mission to make sure that it's not. Okay, so masturbation can also be more enjoyable than engaging in actual sexual acts with someone else, because it eases any sort of pressure. And I think, especially with obviously pornography, this can really misconstrue what sex is or what sex should be like for you. And especially if you're someone that's only really ever watched porn, or you know, you've never really you know, kind of explored by yourself, there can be a lot of pressure when it comes to partnered sex, you know, having sex with someone or multiple people. There's a lot of pressure there because, you know, obviously you both want to be satisfied, you want to show them that you're being satisfied, vice versa, and there is a lot of pressure, and this is definitely something that I felt in the past as well. So yeah, masturbation can just help you relax a little bit more, you know, and when it does come to having partnered sex, you can, as I've said many times, you can direct them, you can tell them, no, don't do that, do this instead, you know. Don't be afraid, ladies and gentlemen, do not be afraid to speak up during sex, especially if it's with a new partner or someone that, you know, you've only recently kind of started seeing. Teach them what makes you happy, because I can guarantee it's going to make the whole sexual experience that just so much better, okay? But firstly, if you don't know what makes you happy, you need to figure that out, okay? You need to go through the stage of exploring. And as I said, got some toys for you to explore a little bit later on in this podcast. And also, if you're trying to abstain from sex because you're worried about getting pregnant or worried about the risk of sexually transmitted diseases, infections should I say, then masturbation is also great, because you're not going to get pregnant or make someone pregnant. And you're not going to be transmitting any sexual diseases or infections, you know. So that is also a great reason for masturbation as well. Okay, we reduce all of those risks. And so this is a little bit of a snippet from an article that I was reading in preparation for this delicious podcast. And let me just read it. So, women generally climax more quickly and easily during masturbation than sex. For sure, that is definitely the case in my case. For example, a 2017 study surveying over 52,000 adults found that only 65% of heterosexual women and 66% of bisexual women usually reached orgasm during sex. On the other hand, 95% of heterosexual men who ejaculated regularly during sex. So there's a big old gap there. You know, 65% of women compared to 95% of men, you know, are reaching the O, you know, reaching the O. And we need to close that gap, honey. We need to close that gap. Us females, we need to direct these males. That is, if you're into kind of heterosexual relationships. If you're not, then, you know, whoever you are, you know, getting jiggy with, we need to teach them. We need to teach them the ways that we know we like to be enjoyed and pleasured. Now, this is one con of masturbation that could be that I could kind of understand why people may not want to engage in it, okay? And this is it. So some may see self-pleasure as a threat to the romantic relationship. I definitely know I've experienced it in a past relationship where the guy was a bit like, why are you doing this by yourself? And I was like, because I enjoy it. And, you know, he kind of took it as, oh, I'm not good enough for you. When that was not the case at all. I just wanted to, you know, to enjoy myself, you know. I wanted to make myself feel good. So masturbation is a valuable piece of what people can do to better their relationship with themselves and enjoy sexual activity on their own, but also with their partners. I think that it can help their relationship if there's communication about what you find from it. And this is that was like a little snippet from Milstein. I believe that is the person. Don't know if that's male or female. However, I completely agree with this. You know, if you're able to enjoy it by yourself, you are going to 100% increase how much fun you're having with your partner. And as I said, I don't think solo masturbation when you're in a relationship should be seen as, for example, cheating, or you know, being disloyal, or just being shady, or not wanting to engage in intercourse with your other half. I don't think it should be viewed as that at all. It's just a case of, yeah, most of the time you do it together, but sometimes, you know, you've got to do a little bit exploring. Sometimes we have to explore things by ourselves first to get comfortable with it, to then allow that partner in. And, you know, even if you've been with someone for like 10 plus years, that doesn't necessarily mean that you might be at that stage where you're completely comfortable with trying something new with them. Sometimes you might want to try it by yourself first, and that is completely okay. But as Milstein said, it's really important that you communicate this with your partner. If you are someone that is, you know, in a relationship and you do want to kind of, you know that your partner maybe views solo masturbation as something that's not really that positive, having that communication there with them is very important. Because so in my last relationship actually, I very much had the view of, you know, oh, you know, why are you masturbating? You know, why are you not letting me join in, you know? And he really taught me that, Beth, like, you can go and sort yourself out and do, you know, what makes you happy. I want to sort myself out, because I think it's important to, I think he said something along the lines of like, stay connected with your body. And yeah, it's healthy to have that kind of separation and, you know, explore that kind of stuff by yourself. You know, obviously most of the time we were together, but other times, you know, here and there we'd you know, do it separately. And I think that is so okay. It's so healthy for both parties to engage in that. And I don't think either party should necessarily look down at the other person for doing it. You know, it's just about having that communication there. And because my ex communicated that to me, it made me think, actually, that is completely right. You know, why am I getting, you know, upset or annoyed by the fact that, you know, he just wants a little bit of alone time, and that's fine. You know, he's going to come back to me. He's not going to go off with someone else. So yeah, those are kind of the, majority of them are the pros, and then just one potential con, or just a potential you need to communicate with your partner if you do have one, when it comes to masturbation, okay? So let me go through like a little how-to guide for you females out there that potentially haven't really explored yourself when it comes to kind of solo masturbation. So my first step, which funnily enough, how I got onto this whole topic was, I basically have been talking to a client. She's been dating. I've been helping her with kind of getting her out there, getting her dating, and she's feeling so much more confident. She's so much more ready to explore different people, if you know what I mean. And yeah, we somehow got onto the conversation of basically she's never really explored it by herself before. And so straight away I was sending her links to some toys that she needs. She ordered them, but this is basically how we got onto this topic. Anyway, the toys that I would recommend you grabbing, if I can, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, I'll try and put some pictures of what I mean on the screen. I don't know whether or not YouTube will allow me or not, but we shall see. Either they'll be here or they won't be. So firstly, what I'd recommend you newbies try is something called a rabbit. And basically this is where you can get internal stimulation, because it likes, usually most of them like spin or they'll vibrate, but also because of the rabbit design, it basically will also give you some clitoral stimulation as well. So you're getting a double whammy. And this for me is, I absolutely love it. I own one. I think they're fantastic. So I would really recommend looking at rabbit products. And also for those of you that maybe haven't had any toys before or have never really looked at this kind of stuff, it might be quite overwhelming for you to look at all of, you know, the amount of sex toys out there is incredible, but it might be quite intimidating looking. So I would always recommend potentially just browsing online, and then if you feel up to it, go into a shop. You can maybe, you know, Ann Summers for example, they are always lovely in there. They'll always explain what everything does. They'll recommend you products that you can try if you're a beginner as well. So yeah, yeah, have a look online first, see what kind of takes your fancy, and then potentially go into the shop to get it, or order online as well. I usually order online because it's just easier. So yeah, first, a rabbit, would really recommend one of those. Secondly, if you want, if things like the rabbit do kind of overwhelm you a little bit, the first ever sex toy I bought myself, actually I think my first boyfriend bought it for me, was a little bullet vibrator, and it's quite literally the size, it's super small. It just kind of resembles like a lipstick, like the container. And basically all it does, it just vibrates. So you can put it on, you know, the old woohoo, the thing that some people struggle to find, and then you just you know, vibe with the vibrations, you know, maybe watch a little something if that's up your street. And if you haven't tried watching, you know what, I'd recommend it. Go with something nice and chill to start off with. So maybe just some kind of normal, you know, heterosexual stuff, because sometimes that's quite chill. And then you can kind of explore, you know, same-sex videos. You can explore some, you know, kind of other stuff that might pique your interest, but I'd really recommend it. Obviously, watching too much of it can be not the best, but yeah, every now and then I would really recommend it, not gonna lie. So we've got the rabbit, we've got the bullet, and also something I'd recommend is something called a doxy wand. Now this is where most of the time it's either like a battery powered thing or you plug it into the wall. I would personally recommend you to get the ones that you can plug into the wall because they're usually a lot more powerful. And yeah, you know, it's basically this big massive vibrator. You don't put it inside, it's like an external thing, but they are just bloody wonderful. I honestly would not know what to do without one. If I'm honest, I would not know what to do without one. And also, all of these toys can be used with a partner as well, okay? In lots of different ways. So if you're a little bit scared about trying it by yourself, and you know, really have a very strong connection with your partner, and you really trust them, then you can try them for the first time with them as well. So, you know, you're kind of not feeling so alone, if that makes sense. So those are three kind of starter toys that I would definitely recommend. There are literally hundreds on the market, hundreds of different things, but yeah, those are definitely three things that I personally would recommend. Now, secondly, so let's pretend you got the toy, you know, whatever one floats your boat. Go into your bedroom. You know, make sure that you are doing it at a time you're not going to be disturbed. Ideally, if there's no one in the house, perfect, because then, you know, there's no kind of pressure of, oh my god, someone might walk in, etc. You want to make sure that you are as chill as can be, especially if this is something that you haven't done before / haven't really explored yourself with, okay? So you're now going to set the scene. You've got the toys on the beds, you know, fresh bed sheets or a towel down, I don't know, however you want to do this. Set the scene. So make sure the lighting in your bedroom is nice and mellow. We're not having bright lights shining in our face. That is just not going to set the vibe. And yeah, as I said, make sure no one will disturb you. I always shut my curtains just so that I know for sure no one can see me. And yeah, just do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are feeling 100% comfortable. Thirdly, after we have got said toys, set the scene, we are then going to grab some lubrication, okay? Because again, if you are new to this, you know, you might not be, how do I describe this? You might not be as, you might be a little bit nervous about it, okay? So you might not be as you know, moist down there, shall we say. I know most people hate that word, but yeah, we're going to use that word. So I personally would recommend either coconut oil. It's actually it's a very good lubricant, guys. I'm very baffled. Or literal lube, something maybe that's water based. You want to make sure that it is all in line with the pH of your vajayjay, and yeah, it will just kind of help things glide a little bit more. It will help ease you a little bit more, and you can get some lubes that like can make you tingle and stuff. I personally am not a fan of that because it kind of felt like it was burning a little bit. It wasn't, but it was a similar sensation. But yeah, that might float your boat as well. Now, fourth is to watch something stimulating, as I said earlier. So, you know, click on a website, I think we all know a quite famous one, and see what takes your fancy. It might take you a little while to find something that you like. Sometimes it does for me. But keep searching. I can guarantee there will be something on there for you, okay? And the last one is take your goddamn time. You know, once you've got everything sorted, you're starting, take your time. Do not put any pressure on yourself to climax, because I can guarantee it's probably going to mean you're not going to, because you're going to be too, you know, tensed up, you're going to be too stressed about it. Just take your time. If you don't climax, that's okay. That is okay. I want to remind you that masturbation and also sex in itself, we do not always need to climax. Okay, that shouldn't be the kind of main goal, shall we say, you know. The main goal should be just exploring yourself, seeing what you like, and you know, if a climax comes, fantastic. But if not, it's not the end of the world. You can go again. That's a good thing about it. You can go again if you haven't. So I hope that this podcast was really helpful. I actually really enjoy talking about this kind of stuff, because I think it should be so much more normalised. It should be normalised for females to be sexually active and talking about it frequently to people as well. Not necessarily, you know, talking about the experience you had last night or something, but you know, just making it okay, making it a normal thing, because it is a normal thing, and it's a very important thing as well for you to explore yourself and your body. Okay, so please, if there's anything you take from this podcast, go and order something. Go treat yourself, and let me know how you find it. You know, let me know how you find it. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you did enjoy it, please subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at BethQFitness, and also the podcast has its own Instagram as well, which is called @TheHonestyPod. We also have TikTok, which is the same usernames for both, so @BethQFitness and @TheHonestyPod. And if you're interested in finding out more about the body confidence coaching program that I run, or have any questions, please drop me a message on Instagram. But yeah, apart from that, please go and enjoy yourself, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.